In John 1, Yeshua tells Nathanael that he will see heaven open and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man. This is clearly a reference to Jacob's dream in Genesis 28, where he sees a ladder extending from heaven to earth. Now, the word angel refers to both heavenly and human messengers. And given that angels had already appeared to Abraham several times at this point, the need for a ladder suggests humans here. And once you get on this ladder, you are expected to ascend. So before we get into the ladder itself, let's look at the ascent. In John 15, Yeshua said going forward, he would no longer call his disciples servants, but friends. Then in Matthew 28, he calls them his brothers. In Luke 28, he appointed them a kingdom. And in John 14, we learn that he was going to prepare a place for them in his Father's house, which tells us that they are also the bride. And all of this was obtained by forsaking all. Now, Matthew 25 says, to whom much is given, much is required. So you are expected to ascend and descend this ladder, not just once or twice, but continually, and to let the light that comes from being in God's presence shine before men that they might see your good works, glorify God, and climb the ladder as well. Those works are the oil that keep your lamp burning, because why continue putting oil into a broken lamp? Take it out and give it to one that works. So Yeshua, the Son of Man, is Jacob's ladder. But how? Well, the first thing we see is that Jacob was at rest when he had this dream. Matthew 11:28 says, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. So what is this easy yoke that gives rest for your soul? Jeremiah 6:16 says, thus saith Yahuwah, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. So taking Yeshua's yoke is the same as walking this old path, wherein is the good way. We see this also in the Hebrew word sulam, meaning ladder, which comes from salal, meaning to lift up, exalt, or build up a highway. And salal is translated highway in Proverbs 15, verse 19, which says the way of a sluggard is like a hedge of thorns, but the way of the upright is a highway. So we need to find this highway. Isaiah 43 says, the voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of Yahuwah. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. The Hebrew word here is Masilah, which is also from Salal. And we see this word again in Isaiah 62. Verse 1 says, for Zion's sake will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest, until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burns. Verse 6, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of Yahuwah, keep not silence, and give him no rest till he establish and till he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Verse 10, go through the gates, prepare ye the way of the people, cast up the highway, gather out the stones, lift up a standard for the people. Behold, Yahuwah hath proclaimed unto the end of the world, say ye to the daughter of Zion, behold, thy salvation cometh. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. So Yahuwah has ensured by these watchmen that sit on the wall and cry out to him day and night that he will have no rest until this highway of righteousness goes forth from Zion. So what is it that goes forth from Zion? Micah 4, verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahuwah shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah, and to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahuwah from Jerusalem. Psalm 84:5 says, blessed is the man whose strength is in you. Highways are in his heart. So what is in the heart of those who belong to God? Deuteronomy 30. And Yahuwah thy God will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed to love Yahuwah thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto Yahuwah thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul. Jeremiah 31. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yahuwah, I will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. Ezekiel 36. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you an heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. God's law and spirit are one. So we take the easy yoke of Yeshua and ascend the ladder by walking in it. 1 Chronicles 26 tells us that these highways lead to gates with porters guarding them, like we see in John 10. And 2 Chronicles 9 shows that they all lead directly to the highways or steps of Yahuwah's house, which is why Jacob named the place Bethel, meaning house of God. So Yeshua is the good shepherd and the gate of the sheep. And now we are seeing that he is the highway and ladder or temple steps as well. Yeshua said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and they are all one and the same. He also said his disciples knew the way, and furthermore, the Pharisees confessed to knowing it also in Matthew 22. And Yeshua confirms that they knew it, but were darkening it in Matthew 23. This means Yeshua didn't come to reveal a new way. He came to bring back to remembrance the way which had been forgotten, and to illuminate that ancient path. The light burden that gives you rest for your soul. That way is manifest in the words and works of Yeshua himself, who is the Word of God that became flesh, the embodiment of God's law and the perfect example of obedience to it, which is truth and life. Yeshua summarizes it all for us in John 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. This is the way. It is the only way. Walk ye in it.